Ava Collins was a 29-year-old software consultant living alone in Portland, Oregon. It was a normal Tuesday night. She had just finished a late workout in her apartment, something she did almost every day. As usual, her smartwatch tracked everything: steps, calories, heart rate. Nothing unusual. But the moment she sat down on the couch, her watch buzzed with a notification she had never seen before. New heartbeat detected, syncing. Ava frowned. She checked the screen. Her own heartbeat was already being measured, but right under it, another line appeared. Unknown heartbeat, 47 BPM, detected behind you. A cold sensation crawled across her back. She spun around. No one was there. The apartment was silent. She locked her watch, assuming it was a glitch, but even with the screen locked, it vibrated again. Another message forced itself through. Movement detected in your living room. Ava slowly stood up. She walked toward the living room doorway, her footsteps soft against the floor. Everything was dark. Everything was still. Then her watch buzzed again, harder this time. A message popped up. New pairing request from Ava_Collins 2. Her stomach dropped. Someone or something was trying to connect to her smartwatch using her exact name. Under the request, a small preview image appeared. It was a photo taken inside her apartment, a dark room, and standing in the middle of it was Ava. But she, the real Ava, was in the hallway, staring at the image in shock. The photo wasn't old. It wasn't edited. It wasn't from security footage. It looked like it was taken just seconds ago. And the version of Ava in that photo wasn't breathing. Ava's hands were shaking as she stared at the photo on her smartwatch, a lifeless version of her standing in her own living room. She backed away from the doorway, her heartbeat climbing fast, but her watch did something terrifying. It didn't track her heartbeat, it tracked the other one. Unknown heartbeat rising, 61 BPM, 72 BPM, approaching you. Ava froze. It was moving. Her living room was only a few steps away. Nothing and no one should have been in there. But her watch kept vibrating, like it was picking up footsteps someone couldn't hear. She grabbed her phone with trembling fingers and opened the camera. Slowly, she leaned around the corner and pointed the phone toward the living room. The room looked empty. But the second she switched to the front-facing camera, her breath caught in her throat. Ava's reflection wasn't matching her movements. She blinked. Her reflection didn't. She tilted her head. Her reflection stayed perfectly still. Worst of all, her reflection was smiling, a slow, unnatural smile that stretched too wide. Ava stumbled backward, nearly dropping the phone. Her watch buzzed again, violently this time. Unknown heartbeat, 3 feet away. The living room light flicked on by itself. Ava held her breath, and then she heard it, a soft exhale from the dark corner of the room, not her own. She took one step back, and the reflection on her phone whispered in a warped voice, "Don't look away." Ava's throat tightened as her reflection whispered, "Don't look away." Her instinct screamed to run, but she couldn't move. Her limbs felt heavy, like something had hooked into her nerves. The reflection in her phone slowly tilted its head the opposite direction Ava did, like it was studying her, learning her. And then her watch vibrated again, but this time it wasn't a heartbeat reading, it was a warning. Mirror activity detected, autonomous motion. Ava's eyes flicked to the nearest reflective surface, a tall mirror standing across the living room. Her stomach dropped. Someone was standing inside it, not behind it, inside it, like the mirror was a doorway. And the figure looked exactly like her. But this version didn't blink. Its skin was slightly off color. Its hair hung too still, like it wasn't affected by gravity. And its eyes, pitch black. Ava took a shaky step back. The mirrored version took a step forward, out of sync, moving just a half second too late. And then it placed its hand on the inside of the mirror surface. Ava's temperature in the room dropped instantly. Her watch shook violently on her wrist. Reflection breach attempt detected. Ava's fake copy raised its other hand, spread its fingers, and began pressing against the glass. The surface rippled, as if the mirror wasn't solid, as if it was soft. Ava whispered, barely audible, "This isn't real." But her reflection slowly mouthed her words back, delayed, distorted, and then pushed half its face through the mirror. Ava staggered back in horror as it emerged, feature by feature, still wearing her smile. And when it finally stepped one foot into the room, her watch vibrated with a final, chilling update. Unknown heartbeat now synced with yours. Ava stumbled backward until her shoulders hit the hallway wall. Her mirror double fully stepped out of the glass now, its movements slow, glitchy, like someone learning how to use a body for the first time. The air felt thick, heavy, like the house itself was holding its breath. The creature tilted its head, studying her. Its eyes, those pitch-black reflective pits, absorbed every flicker of fear on Ava's face. Then, it took a step toward her. Not normal, not human. It moved like someone dragging reality forward in frames. A sharp jump, a jolt, a sudden tilt of the body. Ava's watch vibrated so violently it nearly slipped off. Unknown entity calibrating, copying motor patterns. The thing mimicked the notification. Its head twitched twice. Then it slowly raised its arm and took another step. This time smoother, more natural, more human. It was learning. Ava's breath caught. She scrambled backward down the hallway, but the thing matched her movement, mirroring her pace perfectly. Every step she took, it copied within half a second. Ava darted into the kitchen and grabbed the nearest object, a knife. Her hands trembled as she held it out in front of her. The reflection copy paused, tilted its head, and then it did something horrifying. It reached behind its back and pulled out an invisible version of the exact same knife. No sound, no metal, just a perfect dark outline of the weapon forming in its hand, as if the mirror world had given it one. Ava's voice cracked. "You're not me!" The thing's grin stretched wider, skin tightening around its jaw. And then, in a voice that sounded like hers, layered with something deeper, hollow, and ancient, it whispered, "I know." The kitchen lights flickered once, twice, and the creature lowered its stance, preparing to move. Ava tightened her grip on the knife, backing slowly toward the far end of the kitchen. Her copy lowered into a mirrored stance, same angle, same posture, same breathing rhythm, except its breaths sounded wrong, like air scraping through an empty shell. The lights flickered again. Then the house made a sound Ava had never heard before, a heavy, groaning shift behind the walls, like the place was waking up. Her watch buzzed. Environmental interference, spatial distortion detected. Ava looked around in panic. The hallway behind her seemed longer than it should have been. The kitchen doorway stretched like the walls were breathing. Her reflection copy took another step. This time, Ava didn't move, but the copy did. It wasn't mirroring anymore. It was acting on its own. Ava whispered, "What do you want?" The creature lifted the shadow knife and pointed directly at her heart. Then it slowly turned its head toward the hallway, toward her bedroom. Ava felt a chill crawl up her spine. Her bedroom, where her real mirrors were, where her first photo had appeared from. The copy stepped backward toward the hallway without taking its eyes off her, as if inviting her to follow. Ava swallowed hard. No, I'm not going in there. The creature stopped, tilted its head, and smiled again, that same too wide stretch. Then it turned and sprinted down the hall in a series of broken, glitching jumps, disappearing into the dark. Ava's heart thundered. She knew what it wanted. She also knew what was waiting in that room. Her watch buzzed again, but this time there was no warning, only a message she'd never seen before. Entering source room. Your reflection is no longer bound. Ava stared at the doorway. Cold air poured out of it like the room was a freezer. And then she heard it. Her own voice, coming from inside, whispering, "Ava, hurry, before it replaces you." She froze, because the voice wasn't the monster's. It was her actual voice. Another Ava, trapped somewhere inside that room, begging. Ava stepped toward the dark hallway, knife trembling in her hand. Her copy had vanished into her bedroom, but the voice calling her, that was her real voice, not distorted, not delayed, human. Ava's breath shook as she reached the edge of her bedroom door. Cold air seeped around her skin, stiffening her joints. Her watch buzzed again. Source confirmed. Duplicate origin inside. She pushed the door open, and the room wasn't her room anymore. The walls looked warped, like someone had stretched them sideways. Every reflective surface, her dresser mirror, vanity mirror, even the black screen of her TV, showed different angles of her room, but none showed her. Instead, each mirror displayed a version of her bedroom where someone, another Ava, was banging on the inside of the glass. Her palms were out, her face was bruised, her eyes were wild with desperation. Ava gasped, stumbling backward. Her real voice came again, muffled from the largest mirror. "Ava, it took me first. It's trying to replace you too." Ava stepped closer. Her real self slammed both fists against the glass from the inside. "Don't let it touch your shadow. If it grabs your shadow, it becomes permanent." Ava spun around, just as her copy emerged from the corner of the room. Its movements were smoother now, too smooth, almost elegant. It wasn't glitching anymore. It had mastered her body. It had mastered being human, and now it walked with perfect confidence toward her. The shadow knife evaporated into smoke. It didn't need it anymore. Ava stepped backward toward the mirror where her real self was trapped. The copy matched her movement, smiling gently like it was calming a child. Her real voice screamed from inside the mirror. "Don't let it touch you. If it grabs you—" But she didn't finish the sentence. The lights went out, pitch black. Only her watch remained lit, shaking violently. Entity initiating shadow merge. Ava felt something cold brush her ankle. Not skin, not breath. A shadow. Her own. Being tugged. She jerked her leg away, falling back against the mirror. A violent shock went through her body, like electricity, and suddenly she could hear hundreds of voices inside the glass, all of them whispering the same thing. "Don't let it in." The creature lunged. Ava had 1 second, one instinct. She slammed the handle of her knife backward into the mirror, not to break it, but to pull, and a hand grabbed hers from inside. Her real hand, her real self. In that final second, Ava felt her copy's cold fingers graze her shadow, and everything went white.